Good morning. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. This is the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. This is the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vickie Helm, and it is brought to you by Metadime Digital Network. Today, I'm very excited. I'm so excited. Today, we have Robin Helm on with us, and she is going to blow your mind. You are going to have a lot of healing and health and wellness coming back at you right now for this particular show. It's going to be really great. And I want to tell you, if you're new here, this is the Coffee Break Show. We go live Monday through Friday. We share tips, tools, techniques. We give motivation, inspiration, and those things that are going to help you create thrivability in your life. Now, December of last year, when we saw this pandemic come on, we have been talking, and I promised you I was going to bring you the best experts in the world that are going to talk about what you can do to help your life grow inside a post-pandemic economy or a COVID economy, which is what we're going through right now. And we have covered everything. We have covered business. We've covered relationships. We've had all kinds of people on. And one of the areas that is most important that we have not talked about today is what we are going to be talking about right now, which is wellness, health and wellness. And today I have a veteran. I mean, one of the best experts I've ever known in my life on wellness. This is a person that coaches me on my wellness and is the person who keeps me healthy so that I can be alive every day. And Robin, I just want to welcome you to the Coffee Break Show today.
Well, thanks, Vic. This is indeed an honor to be on this side of the screen, so to speak.
Yeah, that's cool. You know what I wanted to talk about today? I know that you worked at the #1 rehab hospital in the world for 20 plus years. You're an author, you're a speaker, you speak to surgeons and doctors and blah, 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 and all these professional people about your career. You're really someone who has had a very, very illustrious career. And I know that a lot of people don't understand the difference between physical therapy and occupational therapy. And before we start anything, could you just tell us what's the difference in the therapies? Even speech. What's the difference? Speech, occupational, and physical therapy.
That's a really great question to start with. And I'm glad you asked it, Vic, because that is the #1 question that people ask me. They usually say, especially if I meet with a client that's over, say, 80, they're like, I don't want to work another job. Don't get me another job. What occupational therapy, and I promise I won't do that. The difference between physical therapy and occupational therapy in a black and white world, and we know we don't live in a black and white world, is the physical therapist addresses every means of mobility as far as walking or using a wheelchair. So they do all the strengthening and balance and pain management of the lower body, say from the belly button down, although they're trained to address all parts of the body. And then occupational therapists, we look at the functional changes that happen when a person has a disease process or they've had an injury or trauma to their body for whatever reason. And so what we do is look at those things that we normally take for granted, such as the things that you don't really want to talk about: eating, going to the bathroom, taking a shower, cooking, the things that are your occupations that gets us through the day. So we look at how are we going to maximize a person's independence and safety to do those things. And then speech therapy, they address a number of things from either a swallowing perspective, being able to eat safely, which we recently had a friend who had speech therapy after having COVID. And they also address cognitive changes. So cognitive changes through a disease process, such as Alzheimer's and things to reduce the decline of the brain, as well as looking at a cognitive, say for children, to get them ready for school and get through those normal daily routines. So that's kind of the Reader's Digest version of those 3 therapies. In different places, they get different tasks, but that's the generic reason.
You know, it's so interesting that we're talking this. First, I just want to say hello to everybody's on. Ryan is on. Scott's on and MJ is on. Thank you guys so much for being here. Anna is on. And of course, Jane, who is on. Thank you. I'm going to say your name right from now on. The reason I'm talking about this today, and I told you we were going to concentrate on that post-pandemic world. Now, the reason I'm talking about it today is because most people don't know how close many hospitals are to literally going bankrupt. There are things where we're going to be finding out soon that there are not as many things as we once had to help us. Like there's nobody out there who's going to help you because their businesses are closed. And there's going to be a time where caring for your own health, I think, now has always been important. But so many people are so used to family traditions in food. Like when I met you, oh my God, my eating habits were terrible. And sometimes they still are. Sometimes I'm like, hi, I want something greasy, fatty, and not good for you. Just, eating those kinds of things. So we still have those habits. But when we move forward right now, the number one thing you're going to need to get you through what's coming up forward is your health. And today we're going to take, she's here for an hour. I'm going to pick her brains. And the thing you're going to want to do is take notes right now, because I think some of the things that we're going to talk about, look at this already. Yes, occupational therapy got me back on my feet after an injury so I could work again. And look at this. Good morning, Robin and Vickie. Is this going to lead up to a health and lifestyle show for Robin eventually? Why, yes, that is. But we have her on today. You guys are just ahead of me this morning. Love this. Had to tune in to hear Robin. You're smart. Thank you. That was it's going to go very well today. And so me too, after dislocating my shoulder. And that's the whole point of occupational therapy. The thing is, there are so many things Robin has said that you can do at home that will help you have a better quality of life. But before I tell her so many things, pick, like in your mind, pick top three things. Now listen, just because she lives in the same house with me doesn't mean we plan this or this is all off the cuff right now. I want 3 top things you think people can do right now that will just generally have them feeling better.
That's a great question.
I know. I'm only giving you 3.
I have to limit it to 3. And you've heard me say these things hundreds of times. And for those of you out there,
I don't drink coffee anymore.
Right. And those of you out there, I'm sorry. I have to say, you're going to be surprised. These are such very simple things. But in my 30 plus years as a practitioner, I've noticed that these are the delineators between having multiple problems with a lot of disease processes as you age, especially after the age of 50, or leading a very healthy lifestyle. So the very first thing that comes to my mind is movement. And when I think about movement, most people think, oh gosh, Robin, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to spend, multiple hours, especially now. Because of COVID, we have a lot of limitations and you don't really want to go to the gym. And you don't want to have to necessarily invest in a lot of equipment. But the beauty of movement is it's as simple as just moving throughout your day. So the things that I have said, there are a lot of different tests that I've done on my patients for being able to get up and down even from a chair. So if you think about a very simple movement of moving from sitting to standing up from a chair, that is a very simple movement that should not require the use of your arms. You should have the strength in your legs to be able to do that in a controlled fashion, both up and down. So if you're thinking about, especially for those of you that are like we are right now, we're spending a lot of time on our computers. We're doing a lot of business work, of course. We're interacting with family, making our connections. We have to move more frequently. So one of the things that I've always said to my patients is, at the barest minimum, you should be getting up from your seat every hour. movement is absolutely the most important thing. We're human beings. We're mammals. We are designed to move. So when we sit still for long periods of time, it's as if our joints go to concrete and we just feel very stiff and we're not fluid. We have a higher propensity to fall, especially the older that as we age. Aging doesn't mean that we decline. It doesn't. We can live to be 100 years old and be still very physically, a very strong constitution. But movement is the key. So one of the things that I teach every person that I ever work, I don't care if you're an Olympian, a professional football player, or you're somebody's grandma. You need to move regularly. So moving can be as easy as practicing just standing up and getting down from the chair, walking up and down steps. It's amazing the difference of the people that I see that live in a multi-level home. They're forced to go up and down stairs. Now, not always the safest. Definitely have a railing, but stairs can make the difference because a person has to use those muscles to go up and down stairs. So if you're looking for a workout routine, literally wall sits, getting up and down from a chair and stepping up and down 2 steps, up 2, down 2, up 2, down 2 for 2 minutes can really get your heart and lungs moving, get the muscles, the big muscles in your glutes and your quads, the big muscles of your thighs and your backside. Those are the ones that we really need to get going. So I could go on for hours about movement, but that's where I'll leave it there unless you have a specific question.
Well, we have three. So movement is number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Oh, I knew you would keep me on task, darn it. Number 2 would be, and again, this is not rocket science. You all have heard it 100 times. It's feeding the temple of your body. So feeding and giving it enough hydration. So there's been, over the last 20 years, the water industry, bottled water, has really made it super important to hydrate. But we also get liquids in the foods that we eat and other things that you might drink. So yes, water is the most important thing because we're mainly made of water. But to get that balance between hydrating regularly, especially if you're exercising or it's hot, as well as eating good, healthy, nutritious foods. So here's the thing. Today, if you were to go out and go shopping anywhere that has food, whether it's a grocery store, a farmer's market, or your local gas station, you can get food, but that doesn't mean that those things are equally nutritious. And I know, it might be 10 years ago now, there was a gentleman who did a study of just eating at McDonald's. And I'm not picking on McDonald's, but he literally spent every meal just eating at McDonald's. And he did lab work before the experiment, and then he did lab work afterwards. Yeah. So if you just look at the weight gain that he had, it was astronomical. And all of his lab work was so horribly distorted. So that's the scary thing. The good news is you can reverse it. So even someone, because I've seen people that have been diagnosed with diabetes, heart disease, and a number of other things with great initials that you may never have heard of, that have completely reversed it through good nutrition. So
what is that they say that food is actually medicine?
Yes,
we make things so complicated. And what I'm enjoying, which I find really enriching about this, is that we have complicated wellness. We've complicated it so much. It's like, it's like drink water, move every hour. These are simple things. The gyms, why you drink water, move, eat well. Yeah. They're so simple. How do we complicate things so much?
Well, media has told us that we need to go to the gym. We have to look like, for lack of another person, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We have, yes, we do want to be strong, but you can do those things in your own home every day. And I have here, I even have one right here. I have something called a Theraband. I have it in different colors. And you folks that have ever had therapy, I apologize. We therapists use it regularly. Let's see. It's just a stretchy band. We cut it off of a roll. It comes in different colors. The darker the color, the more resistance. And when I travel anywhere, it's easy. It rolls up into nothing. It fits in my purse. I can do an entire hour workout with one band. I can work my entire body, be tired, hurt after that. So
I have to agree because it goes everywhere we go.
I can't even help myself. So movement is one. Good nutrition and hydration, I'm going to lump as two. And number three that I think is the most important today, especially in America, is sleeping.
Yes.
Sleeping and or napping. I personally am a huge proponent of napping. I have my favorite napping places. When I nap, we're not talking about hours. We're talking about 10 minutes to completely refresh your brain. Sleeping is so critical to our overall health. When you sleep an average of 7 hours or more, you're allowing your brain to flush out the toxins that have accumulated through the day, through the air that we breathe, the foods that we eat, the chemicals that are in our household, new carpeting, new furniture, the new car, whatever, all those things off gas. And so they put these toxins into the air, and it's very, very important to give your brain the opportunity to wash itself. And it does that while we're sleeping. They have hundreds of studies on what sleep deprivation does to the brain. We don't function well. That's why when you look at big companies, the thing that made me chuckle when I heard about Google and their offices, they actually have high-tech sleep pods to enable their employees to go in. And boy, that would have sold it for me if I
you would have switched careers then.
Well, it's because after a nap of, if you get a good refreshing nap that gives your brain a little chance to recharge, I feel like the Energizer Bunny after that. I'm ready to tackle whatever comes my way.
That's so good. Yeah. Hey, I got to pop over here because everybody's talking, but I'm going to start with Donnie because this is funny. Robin Helm is a multi-talented individual. Robin has the ability to adapt to many modalities. I don't know anyone else who is an occupational therapist who can food, grow gardens, cut firewood, build walls, and lay a cement floor all by herself. Plus, do the intricate behind-the-scenes implementation of a very in-depth organizational platform. Yes, she is multi-talented, multi-skilled in those areas. Yes, I like this here. Food versus calories. What empty calories will do to your body. It'll mess it up. Oh. Susie's here. She says for hydrating, I have a 52-ounce container. I fill it every day. Add lemon. Ooh, that's a good one. And make sure that I finish it before the end of the day. That's fantastic.
That is
Susie,
excellent.
That is great.
And lemon will keep down those kidney stones too.
Woo-hoo. All right. Those are several different types of human IQs that Robin has, and she's actually applies. That's right. Susie says, great idea with the stretchy band. When I travel, I run. Wow. I always wonder if I laid down for 15 minutes to just process a thought or just relax, so I might bring in a thought if it was productive. I now believe it is. If so, another mystery solved. Yes.
Perfect.
That's beautiful. Donnie says, yes, sleep is wonderful, healing, flushing out the toxins and the stress. I used to take a power nap every day during lunch. Me too. I love having a power nap. Too. Karen popped on, said, hi, everyone. So glad you're here as well.
Hey, Karen.
So what I want to go, I'm going to take a little jump right now because there's a couple of things about exercise that, and I'm just going to go back. Okay. I was not from a family who was very athletic. I was the only athlete in my house. My dad didn't watch football. There was no sports. He was kind of a sci-fi kind of guy. And I was the only athlete in my house. We didn't, learn about foods and things other than dinner's ready. Here it is. You eat it all because I said so. There wasn't any, we had the old food pyramid, but when I met you, one of the most important things happened when you talked about how certain exercises, i.e. bicycling, what it did for the body and the illnesses that it prevented by simply riding a bike. Now, I want to tell you the reason this is so important is because we have complicated wellness. because people want you to buy their products, their supplements, their systems, and they're making millions out of regular ignorance. And that ignorance of things that we used to have PE in school where we had physical ed, and that's not there anymore. And so I want to talk about, let's just take a look at bicycling, just riding a bike, and tell them what it does for their body, what it does to prevent illnesses. And, will you tell them that?
Certainly. Well, of course, riding a bike is one of my most favorite activities, as you've heard Vic talk about as well. I feel like I was born on a bicycle, and part of that was I felt before I was old enough to drive, that gave me the freedom to go further than I could go walking or faster. Or I lived in some dicey neighborhoods, and so it gave me the ability to go faster than someone could catch up to me. So I really, really enjoy bicycling. As I got into occupational therapy, I realized, and the studies since have just reinforced this, that bicycling has so many positive attributes. So even if you're riding a tricycle, because there are some of my patients that their balance is not adequate enough for them to be able to maneuver their body and hold themselves upright, or they would not be able to hold themselves upright when they came to a full stop, and we don't want them just tumbling over. No matter what type of bicycle you're on, even as a person, say I've trained paraplegics to ride an omnicycle where they're using their arms and just their arms because their legs are paralyzed. The bicycle has many, many attributes that are positive. So as I'm just saying, you can improve your balance overall. It's excellent for balance because you have to manage and you don't have to think about it. You just get on it. And even as an adult, adults to ride a bicycle have never ridden a bike before. And after one session, they're often running. Well, they're often biking. So balance is one. The second thing is that you're moving your body in reciprocal motions, meaning you're doing a right, left, and then you're using your legs in the alternate pattern. And reciprocal movements are exceptional for many, many brain functions. And I won't go into the extrapyramidal systems or things like that. But what I want to say is reciprocal motions help to integrate the various parts of your brain so that it functions better. So probably within the maybe last 10 or 12 years, they've done a lot of studies on cycling with Parkinson's disease. And so one of the things that I have used in my practice is getting a person on a recumbent bike, which means instead of sitting upright in the traditional bikes that you often see on the street, it allows a person to actually be sitting as if on a chair. Yeah. So it's easier to get on and off of, as well as it provides a little more stability for those that don't have terrific balance, that might not have the core strength. And it usually provides a back. So the seat has a back, which also makes it safer. But that reciprocal motion, I personally have seen patients with Parkinson's that were barely able to get up out of a chair, and they have a hard time getting started with movement, and then they kind of go and then they can't stop, right? So when we've gotten them on the bicycle and a stationary bike, as well as they progress, I've seen them go from not being able to walk to moving as fluidly as you or I. Wow. I mean, it seems miraculous to watch. So it helps to integrate all of those systems as well when we set up a program for someone to ride. And we're not talking about riding hundreds of miles a week. It may be 10 minutes a day, even on a stationary bike or even on those little silly arm bikes or those things that you can put on the floor and just pedal. Everything that allows you to do those reciprocal motions will help with improvement. So bicycling is, and I'm just touching on it. Again, this could be an entire hour lecture, but I don't want to do
so I want to name a couple of things that really stick out for me knowing you. One is that I remember you teaching me to drink water, a glass of water at night. And everybody's like, well, I have to get up and pee. Well, it lowers your rate of the possibility of getting a stroke by 40%. To have a glass of water at night before bed. And then hydrating being important. The second thing is that when your body needs to move, it needs to move on the hour. Bicycling, that's why I love it. I think it's one of the healthiest things you can do. I am like overweight and my knees aren't hurt by it. I can exercise. I can really push on it. It's really great to have it. And I know, I see Sean Olson popped on right over here. How you doing? And I know that you're working on a project with Sean because he's got a system there. I almost, yeah, it's coming out. And we're going to, when that system comes out, we are going to have Sean and you on at the same time to talk about the project that you're doing. But I do like that I'm still Batman and you're still Robin. That's how you know it still goes. Great to see you both side by side. I want to go back up here. Sleep is a great brainwashing.
Yes.
It's very fascinating process the brain goes through when exposed to sleep. Yes. Exactly. MJ says, thanks, Robin. Great nuggets. Another confirmation that what's good for you doesn't have to be, to me, complicated nor expensive. That's correct. Yes. This is why we're doing this post-pandemic thing. This is the exact reason right here. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive. We are back to the mindset, recognizing that we are not eating the right things, and make a decision to change the way you do them. Yes, that is it. That's it. And yes. You don't have to be, I know there's a lot of women, it's like, hi, I'm so afraid to go out. I don't look right and I'm fat in this and I don't want to go in the gym and they're going to make fun of me and blah, blah, blah. Get that out of your mind. And I know, because I had it. I'm not the kind of person who thinks, oh, let me put on a bikini and walk along the beach. That's not me. I mean, I'm like, when I get on the bike, when I first got on the bike, I had to get over myself. But the fun of it now, I can't go a day without it. I love it so much. And the way I feel is worth everything. The better sleep I'm getting. Yes. I want to go down here, Robin, and say, I love arranging bicycle tours in Europe. Ooh, for my clients. Now, and you know, that's on my bucket list right there, Suze. You'll be hearing from us sometime. Now I know that it is a healthy, I'm going to promote bicycle tours. Yes. That would be great. Bicycle tours would be awesome. There's a lake, and I want to say it's Bremer, Germany. I don't know. There's a lake that goes through several countries that there's a bike riding thing around, and they go from one inn to another inn to another inn at maybe, you know, after the pandemic's died down. Such great advice here. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Being that my mom was Japanese, as children, we were eating a much more balanced diet than the average American household was in the 60s. But I would still sneak away and eat my daily McDonald's or Taco Bell. I rode my bicycle everywhere, and I was fit and slim till the big bad mosquito bit me. Now, the interesting thing that is here is that we are talking about wellness as a form of, if nobody's coming to get you, or you can't afford to go to a hospital because you don't want the colossal bills that come from a hospital. These things that she's talking about, these little steps that we take right now, she said, are the difference, especially if you're over 50, yes, the difference between quality of life or disease process. That these simple things that we're doing yes, right now. And
if I could jump in there, Vic, for a sec. Mm-hmm. What I'd like to add to that, because Susie reminded me of this, as I said, there are many, many, many benefits to bicycling, physical, emotional, cognitive, everything. I mean, your brain is stimulated more, so you're more apt to keep your memory on task. But the thing that Susie brought up is bicycling is, generally speaking, very social. So it's a rare person that goes on a trip or a bike ride by themselves. And even in these days of COVID, riding a bicycle, you can still be in a line, or you can be 6 feet apart, and you get such great interaction, even though you're generally not talking a lot when you're on the bike. I'll tell you from the thousands and tens of thousands of miles that I have ridden on a bicycle, I've done all kinds of long distance touring. I've ridden 115 mile over 3 mountain passes in a day. bicycling is magical when it comes to being able to interact with your peers that are on a bike. So you get that socialization, which is also very, very important, even more important today.
Yes.
Even more
Yeah.
important today.
And we do. We social distance as we bike and we talk, I knew Susie would find it. There you go. Lake Constance, Austria, Germany, and
Oh,
Switzerland.
yes.
That's the
on our
one
list.
that's our bucket list right there. One of them right there, Susie. She found it. My sister did it a few years back with her husband and they loved it. It's around this really beautiful lake and they loved it. So yeah, that's really great. So, let's see. I'm pretty sure that the very few of us are physically ready to confront the upheavals. Yes. And the many challenges that appear to lie in our immediate future. I know I'm not. This is the thing we're working on right now. Yeah, let's talk about that right now, because I believe what's coming is going to require a lot more health. And so I'm not just trying to bike ride. I try to average at least 10 a day. And over the week, 10 miles a day. I'm growing that to 15 to 20 because I think that we are going to have some choices in our future. And I'm trying to, in a polite way, gather all the data I can from all the experts I can to tell each one of you that the future is not going to be as easy as we perceive it to be. And that you're going to need your health right now. You're going to need your health to get through what's coming. And your health doesn't mean losing weight. There are really unhealthy people who are skinny. Being healthy requires that we don't overcomplicate things. I want to go into juicing right now because this is the queen of juicing the vegetables. She grows the vegetables. We have organic vegetables. We get out there, the whole backyard, the gardener. You've seen me with my cup of green juice, which I enjoy a lot. It's significantly that conversation about food being medicine and the key medicine pieces. Tell me about juicing for you, or tell them about juicing. Tell them about why you like it, what's important about it. And I want to let you know, when she says juicing, she goes every January, most every January, the whole first part of the month. All she does is juice all the way through that first month. So this juicing process creates amazing skin. But why do you do it? What's the fundamental aspects of why do you juice and et cetera?
Great question. So I would say first and foremost, I'm a foodie. I absolutely love food. And it doesn't even matter. I just love food. So Vickie said, you want such? Sure. Food. Love it. So as being a foodie, I also understand that as I'm not moving as much as I traditionally did when we were in the big city or since the lockdown started. Oh, I want to come back to that sentence in a minute about walking. Thank you. I think that's Ryan or Anna because of the heart.
Yeah, it's Anna. It's the heart.
Okay. But with juicing, the most important thing about it is the bioavailability of the nutrients that are in the vegetables and fruits that you're juicing. This could be a topic that we dig a little deeper into, the benefits of the different types of juicers, because there's juicers like people will do wheatgrass, which is kind of a masticating one that extracts it. The type of juicer that I use is centrifugal force, which kind of pulverizes it and shoots the juice out, and it is magnificent. But the beauty of it is that when you juice, I mean, you've seen the food pyramid where you're supposed to have X number of vegetables. Well, when we juice, if you've ever seen the pictures that we've posted, it's a big pile of 8 to 10 different vegetables and fruits that we're adding in there. That's far more than I could sit and just chomp on and eat as a whole vegetable. There's also juicers that keep everything in, so you have the fiber as well as everything else. And there's pros and cons to each. But for me, it's the bioavailability of the nutrients. And it it feels good. When I go through January and I juice only, I say this every year to Vic. I don't know why I'll go back to regular food, because I feel so outstanding. I don't get the mid-afternoon groggies. My skin is absolutely clear, and there's no little bumps everywhere, and it clears up everything and is amazing. It really is amazing. My brain is not foggy at all, especially when I juiced going through menopause. It made a tremendous difference on my cognition, my ability to think clearly and focus and stay focused. That can be priceless. So for me, juicing is the easiest way to do that. And it helps me to get some vegetables in that maybe are not my favorite, but as a juice blended with other things, they're terrific.
It's so important. It's interesting too, because right now we don't know what our medical system is going to do, but I do know that hospital bills are just outrageous. They're ridiculous, whether you have insurance or you don't. It's like just incredible. And there are simple things we can do. We have a green juice maybe 3-4 times a week, and having these simple skill sets. None of this is expensive. None of this is out of anybody's realm. And it creates this wellness that is, and I know there are supplements right now that people can buy. It's green juice, blah, blah, blah. But when it's from farm to juicer to table and it's right in your backyard, there's something so empowering about that. I want to go back on here and just cruise a little bit right here and talk to some people. Robin Helm is right movement is the most important thing to do. Yes, physical, auditory, visual, all of these modalities are used riding a bike, and it gives you sexy legs. I need to ride my bike again. Yes, everybody. It's like, this is why biking is making a renaissance right now. Bikes everywhere being sold all around the world. Bike shops are literally moving out of bikes as people begin to use this one brilliant thing. You said, I want to come back and address this. So, and I want to address this. I thought this was funny. 20 miles of the Coffee Break Show moves to noon.
That's
Okay.
right.
A simple walk in nature for me gives me that boost of energy and improves my mood.
You know, Anna, thank you for bringing that up, because I did actually want to start with walking, because 99 and 9/10% of the population can walk. If you can do nothing else, walking is the best thing for you. And you added that extra piece of it to walk in nature. There was a great study that was done last year on nature and the importance of connecting in nature. They did studies with convicts and ex-veterans that had PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and they put them out in nature for various periods of time. And what they found was that when a person has the opportunity to connect with nature, and nature can be you sit by a lake, or you're sitting and watching the sunset, or you're at your city park, don't feel like it means like you have to escape and get to the mountains. It's something that could even be your backyard. Like my garden for me is like a fairyland. It feels enchanted to be in there with the plants that are growing and such. And that's nature. So whatever nature is in wherever you live, even when I lived in downtown Philadelphia, I knew that I could go to the park and be in nature. And they found that it reduced the stress levels. It reduced depression. It reduced aggression. It helped them to feel more connected with themselves and with other people. And they showed better empathy and compassion for other people. And it had physically, it made changes in their lab work, meaning their physiology changed where they were much more connected. So walking, number one, if you did nothing else, I would say try to walk, even if it's 10 feet, and then go to 20 feet, and then 100 feet, and then a quarter mile, and work your way up. You should be able to walk at least 2 miles a day, should be a bare minimum. You should be able to move from sitting to standing at least 10 times with no pain without using your hands. So again, we're wrapping back into movement, but walking, I promise you, Anna, that is stupendous. So hats off to you. you're doing those two major things together, and I bet you feel the difference. You probably sleep better, you feel more grounded, you feel calm, you give your brain some space to kind of go off on its own and allow it to problem solve or get rid of some stuff that's been bothering you for the day. So walking in nature is magical. Do it as often as you can.
I do enjoy a good walk, but I love a bike ride. In fact, this is why I love a bike ride right here. Bike riding can be a learning experience as well. Pontius Pilate is buried in Switzerland at Mount. I know, I had no idea.
No idea.
I know.
And I've been there.
Switzerland has always been neutral, overlooking Lucerne. It is an amazing view. Wow, that makes it, don't you want to go see that? There's something new. This conversation just motivates and encourages me to continue on this wellness journey. That's what we want. But the point I want to make is we're in a COVID economy. We're going to be in a post-pandemic world. We've got a long way to go. And the number one thing you're going to need to do is keep your sanity and keep your wellness. And these basic wellness tips, I'm like, okay, working at the number one rehab hospital in the country for 20 years, this is somebody who's used every state-of-the-art tool for rehab that you could find, that you could get, that you can have, worked on Paralympians, professional athletes, big name professional athletes. We are looking at somebody who's got a lot of years of experience, who's broken it down into the basics of how to avoid getting, ill just by simply doing simple things. Move every hour. And I want to let you know, Sean Olson and Robin have been working on this project. I really want to say what it is, but I can't. It's not my place. It's not here yet, but I'm their studious kind of beta tester of this program. And it requires that you drink more water. It requires that you move every single hour. It requires that you start doing some activity, etc. It doesn't require eliminating goodies from your diet. It doesn't require hard supplements. You take this and this and this and this. There's nothing hard about it. I feel better not having coffee. I have something called Dandy Blend that I drink now every morning. That's kind of a coffee substitute, and I enjoy it a lot. I feel so much healthier. I sleep better. I'm calmer. I'm rested, but I'm stronger. The core of me is stronger. And that core being stronger is so fundamentally important as we go on. And I think this program that they're doing is literally the program of the future, because we're not going to be able to afford all those fancy things for like, hi, let's get all these vitamins made. Who's making them? What manufacturing place is doing it? It's not coming from China. Where are you getting these cheap supplements so you can overprice them and sell them to the public? Where's that going? And if you can't do that, these simple things, these few simple things that she has stated today are going to help you get better. And I see you guys talking over here. And I just want to say, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Let's see.
I see a Facebook user over there that said they went from working out 6 days a week to 0 when they left their 9-to-5 job. Oh boy, I'm with you, brother. And I think you're going to be excited about the thing that we're going to be bringing down the path here. So I'm sorry, you posted something from Susie.
It's interesting. I just want to ask you guys, Sean, are you still there? Just shoot me a yes. My day has started with movement, usually a 20-minute walk, or I don't feel right the rest of the day. Sean, do you have a minute to come on with us? If you type yes, I'll pull you on with us, and you can say hello to everybody and talk about some of the things you're working with me. If we run out of manufacturing as in tires, we will all be on our feet unless we have a stash of tires and bike parts. And we do have a stash of tires and bike parts. Walking and running or riding a horse will be common again. This is what happened during the Great Depression. Talk about a crash diet. Oh my God, that is true. But that starting that day with some movement, naturally, uneven surface, better movement quality.
Yes, exactly.
Sean, coming soon.
Barefoot.
Yes, it is. He is here. Yes, Sean, I'm going to send you a link through, I want Sean to come on because he's got this really wicked good program. Sean, go to Messenger in Facebook, and I am going to, let's see.
And while you guys are connecting with that, I saw someone mentioned standing at the desk. And thank you for mentioning that, because again, there are so many very simple solutions. One of the things that I do is I change positions. Oh my goodness, thousands of times a day. So at my desk, I have different layers so that I can move my computer where I'm standing up. I have a physio ball so that I can sit and I'm bouncing on the physio ball. I promised I wouldn't do that during the show. It drives people crazy, but I have that. So I will shift in different positions so that I have my computer at different eye level. If I need to type, I have it at the ergonomic position for myself. But I'm constantly moving. If you watch the average 2 or 3 year old when they're awake, they are moving all the time. They're just always constantly moving and readjusting and testing. And so that's what you want to do, even as a person that's working at your desk all day long. Hey, man, how you doing? It's good to see you, Sean.
Hey, I just want to take a second here and pop Sean on. Sean, talk to me so I can hear you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Can everybody hear me?
Hey, yeah. Great to see you. Great to see you.
And this man is using a standing desk right now.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. Uh-huh. These are the guys that have whipped me back into shape. And I really want to meet Sean. I want you guys to meet Sean. But I need to get it to the point. There we go. Sean and Robin are writing a book together, and they're talking about just this piece of it. Now, when the book comes out and everything else, I'll have Sean and Robin on again. But I got Sean here because he came in there today. And I got to tell you, he and Robin have designed this program. And I've kind of been the guinea pig of the program. And I got to tell you, Sean, I haven't dieted a single day. And I've dropped 15 pounds. Nice. I haven't done, I have fun every single day. I'm not doing all the exercises. I'm pretty partial to the squats right now because that's the thing that I do. My water intake went from like 20 ounces a day to almost a gallon a day. I'm just shy of that. That's right. Gave up coffee and my sleeping is much better. And the addition that we had of these green drinks. And I will tell you, it has made my body so strong. The core of me is strong. Yeah. I can feel my immune system being better. It's healthier, and they're so basic. But I want you to give them. Can you guys just maybe just a small reveal, not a big reveal, just share with them a small reveal until it's time, and I'll let Sean, just do your thing.
Sure, absolutely. So without revealing too much, because obviously we want the big drum roll coming up. Basically, what I've done is my background is in fitness and nutrition. So I was a personal trainer for a lot of years. So this is stuff that I've studied and taught for a long time. And it was always in the gym mentality where everyone's trying to go from 0 to 6-pack. And then it's like a bunch of sacrifice and really big struggle. And it's not sustainable lifelong. And so what I found after training some people for years at a time was I wasn't actually teaching them anything new at some point. It was accountability and motivation. And so that's one of the biggest pieces that comes into it is being able to work with somebody else and have what you're wanting to get done out there, and then being able to have a systematic approach that you can do in part of your daily routines without setting aside extra time as this bulk thing I have to do, and to be able to incorporate it into your daily lifestyle.
And that's been so powerful for me.
Yes, it's huge. So the simple things, the walking in the morning and drinking water at the top of the hour and stopping to do a set of squats and little simple things that you can do that don't really take a lot of time, and you develop a routine and a habit of this is part of how I do my day, then you no longer have to focus on it. It becomes a subconscious reaction and it naturally happens. And then when you add in the big bike ride or that, hard workout at the gym or whatever, it's the extra, it's not the thing.
Yes. And it's so empowering to say this because, Sean, before the pandemic hit, way before the pandemic hit, Sean started noticing how many remote workers there were and how many people weren't moving and I'm going to tell you, if you're remote working, you have no ideas how many hours you put in a day, because like my partners are in Australia, then I have partners in South Africa, and I have partners in the United States and the UK, and time zones get mushed together, and you don't have a 9 to 5. You just have start to finish, and maybe that's 4 hours, maybe it's 14, you don't know. But either way, there are basics. And by the way, I have this stand-up desk now where I can just pull it up and stand up and do things, or sit down and do things. But it's the moving thing that has been like, there are some days when I'm writing a book or something and I forget. I just simply forget. And Robin comes up, you need to get up right now. Let's go. Let's move. Let's do something. And the thing is, I think what you've done is take this very complicated industry, both of you. We have made it so complicated. We've made it so expensive, unnecessarily complicated, unnecessarily expensive. And we've made it we've made it in the minds that now people think they have to afford to be fit and not just become fit. And you guys have taken that industry, taken a big pick and boom, pop the balloon, letting all those lies and myths come out about how wellness is there. And we are moving into a post-pandemic economy. We're moving into these places, and this is so important for you to do right now. It's like, do you know, drinking a glass of water at nighttime drops your possibility of getting a stroke by 40%. It's like, how hard is that? You know, so the hydration is really great. Yeah.
If you enjoy dancing reduces the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia by 75%.
Did you hear that?
Regular dancing.
Say it again.
It is the number one preventative action that you can do every day. And we're not talking hours and hours. You just grab your honey or someone, a child, whatever, and you just dance, just put on the tunes, and your cognition goes up, your memory goes up, your excitement goes up, you're more alert, you're more focused. That's another thing to incorporate into that, moving regularly through the day. Just do we'll put on some great tune and we'll just go dancing through the house. Yeah. So
yeah, I want to show you here. I hope this doesn't cover you up, Sean, but if it does, no, it doesn't. We're excited with your program. Can't wait for both to launch your system and program. I'm going to tell you what, it is the best program I've ever done in my whole life. Ever done in my whole life. It is the easiest to integrate these systems. I'm not suffering at all. I actually love it. I'm really proud of my accomplishment. That they've, tracking and everything else. I feel great being their beta tester. I have goals that I've not had before. Knowing both Robin and Sean's expertise and background, this will help thousands, millions of people. We have so many remote workers right now. Don't let it be that it is some thought in your head. And what would you say, Sean, to people right now, or Robin, both of you, what would you say to those people who believe fitness is something we buy? That's the biggest myth out there now. What would you say to them?
One of y'all talk. You go first. Yeah.
All right. So fitness is something that existed before money. So this is ancient, and this is kind of where the book starts from. So there's a little tie into that, but we're really talking about basic functionality of the human body. And if you put the things in that it is intended to have in it, and you use it the way it's intended to be used, which is consistently, it's a very simple process. And what most people fail in is this myth of how it's done. It's hard right now. I get to a point, and then what? It costs a bunch of money. I got to have a gym membership and the clothes and the shoes and all the right appearance. It's a simple daily process that costs $0. It's attention to the factors that you can control in the moments that you're aware of. That's what it
Yes. Beautifully said. Yeah. Well, do you have anything to add, Robin?
Well, I would, that was beautifully said. Thank you, Sean. I think it's very important for people to understand that our parents or our grandparents, they didn't worry about fitness as they were going through their normal daily activities.
Yes.
They were moving and working, and they exercised because it was something you had to do to be able to get from A to B. and to complete a task. And so in all the things that we've done to help ourselves become more efficient, we've been decreasing the amount of work that it takes. And so this is just doing those normal daily activities. Boy, follow a 2-year-old around. You don't have to go to the gym after that. I mean, that's a workout. Or get a new puppy or something like that. Those are workouts. And I always laugh when I see people that drive to the gym. If they had just walked the mile there, they wouldn't really actually need to go to the gym, because you just do those normal things. Go out in the garden, fix things around the house, whatever, stack wood. Those are just normal daily activities that can get you in shape, and just paying attention to what you're putting in your mouth.
Yeah. Right now, there's also Ryan's down here, and I want to bring up Ryan because he's doing this challenge. Has been those 25 push-up challenges that are for there's that movement. So he's doing that, and he's challenging some other people. Please don't challenge me. I'm not going to do it. I'll do it. That's right. See, Robin will do that. Well, all right, here we go. I like this. Grow a big, gigantic garden and build a greenhouse. Eat the vegetables as you are in the garden working. That's right. Leah, yes, today is Back to the Future with USA and Canada made. Yes, that's right. True. And those people, it's like the number one thing you're going to need to get through is that, that's got to be your health. We got to take care of that. So here's what I want to say. I like this. I drink a glass of water every night with baking soda in it every night before I go to sleep. Now, I want to tell you something. That tastes like crap, but it works good. It alkalinizes the body and it lowers disease. I mean, I know this because he's made it for me, and I couldn't. Yeah, it's tough, but it works. Yes, so truth. It's all about balance. Yes, it is. So yes. I don't know when their new thing is coming out. I do know it's going to be really grand, and I'm going to be the spokesperson child for that one, because I went from being able to ride, I'm not kidding, maybe 4 miles, and I was exhausted 4 miles. And we pushed about 16 this weekend, and we're going for 20 this upcoming week. We average about 10 a day. I cannot tell you how improved I feel, my mind, my body, my spirit. And I'm so thankful to you. I've not had a program ever work except this one. And it's simple. I mean, I've been on other programs, but they're all like, I started young like everyone else with the crash diet and stuff. Health and wellness, this is the thing. You don't have to buy it. It's easy to get. This is great from Peter and Mary France. Thank you. Nice to see you. I love you both. And I will tell you, those people down there, Peter and Mary France, they do wellness forever. It's their life. It's their business. It's their show. And if you haven't watched Healthy Cooking for Food Lovers, you need to go watch it. It's on YouTube. Somebody put that below. Her recipes are all wonderful that way. My grandfather ran a team of 6 horses on his farm and ranch all by himself. He ate like a horse, but he was always lean and muscular. We are sedentary as a people now in the U.S., kind of around the world too. Until we are not, our world dictates change. Our world dictates change. Yes. And to me, this is the future right now. You guys, I want to say thank you for being on here, because you're so amazing at what you do. So amazing. And your want to help the world be healthy has changed my life in so many ways, both of you, heart and soul. So I want to thank you for being on the Coffee Break Show, and I'm going to have you again very soon. As soon as that launch comes out, boom, I am there. I can't wait to tell everybody and show them, etc. I just can't wait. Until then, you guys be healthy. Remember, that's a Coffee Break Show. We're on every Wednesday. It is the Metadime Digital Network, and I will see you next week. Peace out. Mwah! Thank you guys. Bye.
See you, everybody.
Go out for a bike ride. What are you guys still doing here? Get on the bike.